Mitch McConnell. Apparently, Mitch McConnell is alive. This is the headline. Mitch McConnell says a fall led to his hospitalization, breaking weeks of silence about health condition. Like, we haven't heard from him for a month, right? And now they're saying he's alive.
All right, this just into CNN. Kentucky Republican Senator Mitch McConnell has just put out a statement on his recent health issues and hospital stay. He posted this picture and wrote in part, "My doctors have confirmed that I didn't break any bones or suffer a concussion. I didn't have a heart attack or a stroke. I don't have any tumors or hemorrhages, but I was briefly unconscious and was taken to the hospital. While receiving excellent care over the past several weeks, I've also had to deal with a mild case of pneumonia. I can assure you that I've been a good patient. At my age, I tend to do what my doctors tell me to do. I've submitted to every test they can think of to help figure out what caused this incident, and I'm continuing to do everything they ask to speed my recovery. In fact, with signs of continued progress, I've been able to move from hospital care to a rehabilitation center where I'll keep regaining my strength." So
apparently he's at a different location now, right? It's what he said, from was a hospital to rehabilitation. Again, this is the photo that they released of him and his wife, and he's alive. Okay, I'm just telling you what it is. I do want to hear from health professionals out there. We have a lot in our community. We know Mitch McConnell's 84. They're saying he was unconscious. I guess the phrasing that they used was briefly. So, who knows what that means. And then, took him to the hospital, and then they I guess they checked him for everything. I know when you get older, just as practicality, when you take a fall, it's actually quite serious, and because you're just it's a serious thing depending on how you fall, etc. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. So he's alive, and in terms of just his job and stuff like that, just resign, go take care of your health, do what you need to do, right? So we'll probably wait on that. I haven't heard his voice. They haven't released any video like that, just a photo. So, it is what it is. They were flying the flag at half-mast. This is from the White House. And then we have that Lindsey Graham, they say. Lindsey Graham died of aortic dissection. Okay. Preliminary medical report says. And again, I'd like to hear from our medical professionals in our community. It just says, in a statement, Graham's office said preliminary findings from the D.C. Medical Examiner's Office found that Graham suffered from an aortic dissection in which a tear occurs in the inner layer of the main artery. This was caused by arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease, the statement said, which is when arteries become clogged and disrupt blood flow. His office clarified that a death certificate remains pending until all toxicological and microscopic testing is finalized. At that point, the death certificate will be updated to reflect the cause of death and appropriately classify the manner of death, he said, his office said. So that's what the statement is then from on Lindsey Graham's situation. I know I'm in shock on this whole news of the last couple of things.
All right, let's turn to Kentucky. Yesterday on X, you renewed your call for Senator Mitch McConnell to provide an update on his health. The senator has been absent from the Senate for 3 weeks. You say it's time to end the crazy speculation and for the senator to tell us what's going on. Have you gotten a response from the senator or his office?
Nothing. Not a call, not an email, not a letter, not even an official statement from Senator McConnell. And I haven't seen an official statement from him during this entire period or even after the passing of his friend, Senator Graham. I will admit that I'm concerned. I get that we all have a right to privacy for our health, but when you run for an office like mine or Senator McConnell's, you answer to the voters. And if you are in the hospital for an entire month, you owe it to the people that elected you to give them an update, to show that you continue to have the capacity to serve. And for me, I represent those same people. And so I'm pushing for them to get the answers they deserve. All he has to do is call in to maybe Fox News, network that he should be comfortable going on. He could call into this show, Reverend, or he could put out an official statement. He could send a short video no. The failure to do so for this long raises serious and legitimate concerns.
You saw it right there. So they are under pressure from the governor, put out a statement or something, and that's literally what McConnell did. So it's not a phone call to, Fox or otherwise, or video, because they could easily do video. I mean, we all have phones these days, right? So they decided to go with a photo. Again, this is the photo here of McConnell and his wife. So I guess they're together is what they say. Let's read the statement of what's going on here. He says, "To my fellow Kentuckians, when you elected me to the 7th term and made me our Commonwealth's longest serving senator, right? You did so trusting that I'd keep up fighting for you every day. And over the past several weeks, Elaine and I have appreciated both your well wishes and your honest questions about what was keeping me away from the Senate." Again, he's been gone for a month. You all, and it's also to the last couple of years, really, he hasn't really been all there. And if anyone has seen him in public, his health has been, not great. You all know how folks of my generation often hesitate to share the vulnerability that comes with growing older, even in the public eye. I feel that same instinct. I can't help it. But at the same time, I've had more than my share of experience with physical vulnerability. Surviving childhood polio meant spending my entire life with mobility challenges. They haven't exactly gotten easier to manage with age. And last month I took a fall, which landed me in the hospital. And, regarding this stuff, it just, my first reaction is, you should have retired from the Senate a long time ago. We have a real problem with just retire. I don't know how to say it. This comes a time when you need to get other people in office. I think it should be obvious to anyone. And also you could talk about who's voting for people who, you should retire. It's that simple. He says here, "My doctors have confirmed that I didn't break any bones, suffer any concussion, didn't have a heart attack or a stroke. I don't have any tumors or hemorrhages, but I was briefly unconscious and was taken to the hospital where I received excellent care over the past several weeks. I've also had to deal with a mild case of pneumonia." So he's saying he was sick. But you still could have put out statements of or whatever your condition. So I'm kind of, I don't know. "I can assure you that I've been a good patient at my age. I tend to do what my doctors tell me." What else here? It says, "As much as it frustrates me, this process takes time. And the advice of my doctors, I won't be able to return to Senate floor to vote quite yet." Okay, so he's not coming back. "But rest assured that in the meantime, I'm not taking a break from the Senate business that matters to you. I've been working closely with my legislative staff on current issues and my Kentucky team who help provide timely constituent services across our Commonwealth." Yeah, I highly doubt that. I'm sure his staff are, working, but he's not going to come back and vote, I guess. But this idea that, he's got to take care of his health. This is just as a human being, just resign and go take care of your health, right? You clearly can't, if you can't come to the office or anything. "I've been keeping in touch with my Senate colleagues on the appropriations process, midterm politics, and everything in between. You're right to expect your representatives to work hard for you. And part of my decision to retire at the end of my term this coming January," so he wants to stay in office essentially, "was being honest about demands of Senate work. But I still have unfinished business to complete on your behalf, and I have every intention of finishing the job you elected me to do. I'll keep working hard to get back to the Senate floor as soon as possible, and I'll keep you posted on the progress of my recovery. Until then, I'm so grateful for your prayers and well wishes." Okay. And then this is then coming from the doctor. And again, I want to hear from members of the community. Just tell me what you think about this. "Senator McConnell has experienced several falls throughout the year that have been attributed to his post-polio condition. He was admitted to the hospital 4 weeks ago after falling at home and sustaining minor injuries." And again, when you reach a certain age, or in any age really, a fall at home can be actually quite serious, as you all know. A comprehensive evaluation by and just a personal note, for example, my wife's grandma took a fall. I want to say maybe 2 years ago or something like that. Never been the same afterwards, and I'm highly doubtful of McConnell's situation here in terms of getting back and working with the Senate. A comprehensive evaluation by a multidisciplinary team determined, right, and he went back through, had the no fractures, cardiac abnormalities, stroke, tumor, or hemorrhage. Earlier in his hospitalization, he developed pneumonia, okay, which responded rapidly to antibiotic treatment. Okay. The remainder of his hospital stay focused on physical therapy and strategies to reduce his risk of future falls. He has been medically cleared to continue fully participating in his intensive physical therapy program. Yeah, and so then when you read the description of it, that was from the doctor, and then I'm seeing a picture of him here. I don't think there's any reason to think that he shouldn't retire. I mean, like, just retire, resign. It's it. We'll get someone else who can physically go to DC and do the job. I mean, this whole thing of like clinging on your seat is crazy to me, but it is what it is, and I do want to hear from people out there that what's going on, and just to put this in context, why you have one Senate member suddenly dying with Lindsey Graham, and then you have Mitch McConnell, then I guess is going to just do intensive physical therapy. That's according to the doctor's words. The USA is attacking again, right? And so it's frustrating because you just have these literally people at the latter stages of their life determining the fate of the world, right? Younger people who have a much longer future, just reality, longer future ahead, should have more decisions and more say in what's going on. So that's my thoughts on this. I do appreciate your time, everyone. Please be safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next video.